Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into the Don't Risk It podcast. We're taking a bit of a break during the holidays to recharge the batteries for 2024, so we want you to enjoy these encore presentations of some of our favorite past episodes. Today's episode discusses winter weather preparations for your stations and facilities. Please be on the lookout for new episodes coming in January with special guests and new topics. And here's my discussion with Mike Baker and Dave Bradley regarding winter weather preparations. Dave, Mike, I want to thank you for joining me today. Hope you two are doing well.
Thanks, Chris. It's good to be back.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
For sure. So what are some of the steps we should take to ensure the interior of the structure is protected from freezing temperatures?
Chris, this is an excellent place to start, and probably one of the most important things to consider would be a contract with an HVAC vendor to perform the preventive maintenance on the organization systems. The lower the temperature goes as winter approaches, the better the heating portion of your system would need to operate. And I would say some of the things that you need to evaluate on the system, and this would be for the vendor, would be checking for any kind of inefficiencies or cracks or general things that would need immediate repair on your system. Replacing the filters routinely is probably something that you can do, as well as having that vendor do. They should probably clean out the condensation traps. And generally, the airflow vents that are around the station or in the building, you probably want to keep contents away and clear them to allow for efficiency and proper airflow. But then, in addition to the HVAC systems, another area of concern within the building, interior-wise, should be frozen pipes, which can oftentimes we see them lead to pretty extensive damage and also a pretty extensive need for remediation once those things do rupture. Oftentimes they go unnoticed because stations are unattended at the time. So your organization in that situation should really insulate or seal cracks around any exposed pipes. Keep the interior temperature of buildings at 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And this would also go to instructing tenants of buildings that you may have in rental properties or other places to also do the same. And lastly, I would say your organization should probably take items out of storage sheds or exterior buildings that are prone to freezing and should be maintained in temperature-controlled environments.
And I can't agree with Mike more. One other area that you can certainly consider is some of the market available low temperature threshold alarms, putting them in facilities that are not occupied. So you get an alert that for some reason the temperature has gone below what you have it set at.
You'll have to pardon my ignorance for this next question. I'm from Oklahoma and live in Texas, so our winter prep consists of getting milk and bread and eggs. I didn't know that you were supposed to raise the windshield wipers on your vehicles when it was freezing outside until I came up to the office in PA. So what should we consider on the exterior of the building and on the premises? So to help some ignorant Southerners like me figure it out.
Chris, that's a great question. And I go back to the old cliche, experience can be a great teacher. Look around, talk to some of your older members. What have you experienced in the past? What kind of damage has your building had? Have you experienced flooding or snow issues? Some of the specific areas, look at your downspouts, especially before winter. Are they clear of debris? In the summer, if it's raining and they're overflowing and not just coming down water, not just coming down the downspout, but actually overflowing across the horizontal portion, consider getting up there, making sure the debris is clear. Take a look at your roof. Do you have a sloped roof, a smooth sloped roof, especially metal? Consider putting snow guards or ice guards, some kind of retention device to keep the snow and ice from falling off the building, especially in those areas where people are coming into or out of your building. And then think about snow accumulation. Will there be a weight load concern on that roofing structure? And this is an important point. Think about how to get that snow load removed from ground level. You can find rakes, snow rakes or other devices at local building supplies, but it's important to make sure your feet stay on the ground while you're doing that. One last suggestion is consider installing heat tape in downspouts to prevent freezing and ice damming.
This could vary, across the country because we do have clients all across the U.S. But when should our responders start the process of winterizing the station?
Chris, you're actually pretty spot on there. this can vary from region to region, but really should be based upon the change in season temperatures. You really want to be ahead of the game and prepare the building sooner rather than later. Some organizations we work with will substitute a training night or dedicate a special day, a work order day to the building to prepare for the winter seasons. One of the things you may want to do and consider is securing a professional snow or ice removal contractor to plow and maintain a property during storms. If you perform this yourself, make sure your equipment's in working order and there's an adequate supply of snow or ice melt material on hand to handle those storms before they come. So preparation, just like anything in emergency service, is really a key part of what you do.
So now that we've went through some of the preparation steps and the storm has passed and everything and spring is coming, what are the areas of the building or the property that we should inspect after the winter season to see if there was any damage or we might need some potential repairs?
So, I was probably a little remiss in not talking about frozen areas, especially near your entrances and exits or walking path areas. You saw them in the winter. You know where the freezing areas are on your walking surfaces, and you probably treated them or you blocked access. Now think about the beating they took during the winter storm. Is there any frost heave? Are there any potholes forming or things like that? And also take a look up, take a look at your roof. Repair or replace missing shingles and downspouts or areas where wind or ice may have caused leaks.
So does VFIS have some type of property inspection form that our clients could use so that they have a uniform self-inspection that they can do at each of their facilities?
Yeah, Chris, VFIS has extensive resources on this topic, but on the website, VFIS.com, there's actually a property self-inspection checklist, which is available under the Safety Central section of that webpage. And we've included a link to that resource at the area below here on the webcast title page.
Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I really want to appreciate you for joining me again today.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
And I want to thank you for listening to the program today and for your interest in VFIS safety resources. I want to thank our guests Mike Baker and Dave Bradley for their time and information. Please consider subscribing to our program to stay up to date on new content releases. Future programs will discuss many more of the exposures facing those in the emergency services industry and will highlight ways to help reduce your risk. For more information about the many resources available from VFIS, please visit VFIS.com. And to submit ideas for future discussions, please reach out by emailing us at VFISriskcontrol@VFIS.com. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day. The views, information, or opinions expressed during this program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Gladfelter Insurance Group, VFIS, and its employees.